Hello again, and welcome to episode 8 of Let's Play Low Poly Modeling Myself. I'm Valentino, and in this episode, we are quickly going to go over how we are going to texture our character. Now, I say quickly because Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and I have a lot of errands to run, and I had a lot of errands to run today, so this is going to be really short, and honestly, I'm not sure when the next video is going to be. Might be early next week, or it might be this weekend. Now, here's our texture. It only has an occlusion map on it. Remember, there are no lights. Now there's no lights. That was weird. I was using default lighting. I guess not. Anyways, we are going to be showing you the difference between photo sourcing and photo referencing in this video. So, photo referencing is just using references images to get an idea of what everything looks like, and then painting from it, and that's a great way to go about it, but it's not very efficient. Unless you're a really, really great painter, and you can do hyperrealism very well, it's not really that great. Painting a texture already takes a really long time, so sometimes getting a little reference image in the back of your picture on a different layer that you can work from is a great way to get a texture out. And that's called photo reference, or photo sourcing. But the problem lies when a lot of people will do bad photo sources, and they do this by just selecting the face and then copying and pasting it on your texture. And this is bad for a number of reasons. First, generally speaking, unless you have a really high quality camera and a really good picture of your face, such as with a really simple lighting setup that doesn't have shadows and you kind of like have an overcast cloudy day, and you have a good camera, and your face is incredibly perfect for putting on a weird stretched out UV map, well, you're probably going to end up with a bad texture. And I'll show you what a bad texture looks like now. We'll line up this directly copied photo sourced image. Let's see, the bottom of that triangle is the bottom of my nose, so we'll go ahead and plop that down. And as you can see, it's already not lining up, because our UVs are stretched out in an unrealistic way, because we're flattening out a 2D image. Or we're flattening out a 3D image in 2D space. And this picture is a 2D image of a 3D world. So it has depth of field and all kinds of crazy things added to it. Weird pseudosciences. Well, I'm just kidding about that part. Now, if we directly photo source this, and there's a lot of games that have done this in the past, and it annoys the hell out of me. They'll quite literally just do something similar to that with a few more images and clean it up a little bit. They'll save it out as their texture. And you'll see this in a lot of beginning art forums and books too. They'll actually tell you to do this. And let's apply that texture. And my god, you can see how horrible of an idea this was. But you'll see games all over the place that have this, and you can tell them right off the bat, because you'll see eyes that are really, really, really huge, or mouths that, well, I don't even know how to respond to this. Or you'll have blurred areas of the face, or slanted eyes, something that doesn't look good from the side, or only looks decent front on. And this was actually a popular method for bad artists to do. I don't know why. If you zoom in closer, you can even see artifacts from the camera. This is something Daikatana probably did. I'd have to check. I'm going to pause real quick and check. Oh well. Didn't find a really good image, and it doesn't really look like Daikatana photo sourced, or if they did, they hit it really well. Anyways, I'm sorry, Daikatana. So, you'll see really bad games do this all the time, even games nowadays, and it looks horrible. If you are going to do something like that, use a 3D paint tool like ZBrush, so you can at least paint the areas that are appropriate, and you need to have a lot of images to source from. Now, for games that we're doing, such as this character that's probably going to end up on a low hardware spec device, such as the iPhone, PSP, or DS, this is horrible. Don't do that. I mean, clearly, this is horrible. What you want to do is grab color from that image and paint with it. This way you can get an accurate idea of what your skin tone is. Or your character's skin tone, if you're doing someone else. Get good reference of the type of person you want to make. And be sure to source all areas of the skin, because skin is multicolored and multifaceted in various areas. For example, a nice way to start, and we'll do this later, is when you're painting a character's face. The areas that are closest to blood vessels are going to appear redder, pinker. And areas that are farther away or within shadow are going to appear darker. Such as areas around the eyes are going to appear darker. Like sagging eyes, things like that. But my nose and areas around there are going to appear nice and red. So we're going to showcase that. That looks too dark. There we go. Let's get rid of that mouth. We're going to source area over here. Get some of that red in there, because that's where my nose is. And put it up here. And get some of this lighter tones over here. That's where my eye sockets are. And we'll check that out real quick. As you can see, when you're using photos as a reference, you really just want to use it as a guide. I might bring up that photo again and use it as an idea of how my eyes are shaped. And paint using that, almost as a stencil. But I'm never going to use the actual eye as picture for my eye. If I'd want to do that, I'd want better reference. So, let's see how this looks, and then that will be it for this video. Ugh, Jesus Christ, that looks bad. There we go. Now it doesn't look like anything special now, but remember, art is a long process. And even when you're really good, you want to spend some time on a good texture, especially if it's going to be your main character, like my character will always be. And look at people's faces. See what don't ever do a flat color for the skin, unless you're really, really low on texture space. Skin is a wonderful, wonderful thing, and it's never the same shade everywhere. Areas around the center of the face going to be redder, pinker. Areas around the sides might be darker. Just think of how it works. Your eyes are going to have hints of blue in the skin because they're just going to be darker. Or not really darker, but have less blood vessels in them. Kind of like when you don't have sleep after a long time. Similar to what my character normally would have. Anyways, thank you.